If you are a creative, an artist or a content creator, if you share your art, rest assured that the more effort you put into it, the deeper you go with it, the more vulnerable you are with it, the more you require from the audience. You can post something with less meaning, with less depth, something that is more surface leveled. Create something that is more surface leveled. Create something that is effortless. Something you didn't really put any thought into. Something you just kind of made and there was no reflection, no depth, no meaning, no message behind it. It's just a silly little thing, a silly dance or a little video clip of your morning coffee or something completely random. And it can get so much engagement, so many likes, views, comments, not just because it might be relatable, but because it requires so little of the viewer. They can remain in a position of complete passiveness. Sure, they're active in a way that they might be liking or commenting, but they don't have to go within themselves. They don't have to reflect about what they just witnessed. They don't have to go within themselves. They don't have to feel anything. They can just be in a state of witnessing passively, not participating, not ask themselves how this resonates with them or what emotions this evokes in them. Art that it has depth, art that has purpose, art that has meaning requires the audience, the viewer, to not just maintain this observing position, not just maintain this passive mentality. It requires them to take part in it. It requires them to search for a place within themselves that reflects this art. And that for many people can create uncomfortable feelings. If you share something that is very vulnerable or you share something that is very deep, it can cause discomfort in other people unless they have access to that part in themselves, that depth in themselves. If you share something that is painful, they have to have the ability to meet their own pain in order to meet the art that you have created from such a pain. If you create something that has arisen from a deep, deep, deep sense of happiness, joy, contentment, they too need to access that part of themselves. They too need to feel that immense sort of joy in themselves. If you create art from a place of immersing yourself in your senses, you're sensing everything around you, everything moves you, everything touches you. You create art from this place of just complete immersion into life itself, into your surroundings. You're completely affected by everything around you and inside you, and you use this to create art. People need to be able to do that themselves in order to appreciate what you just did. Being able to be moved by how the leaves move on a tree or how the rain falls down and the sound of the rain falling down onto the pavement. Being able to really hear the birds, really listen to the sound of the birds and make it move you, make it affect you, make it speak to your nervous system, and allow that to be part of your creative flow. Realizing that you're not just a creative, you're not just an artist, but you are a human that is constantly interacting with life. And in that interaction, with those constant visualizations, those constant sensations, those constant inputs and outputs, that is art itself. That is creativity in itself. It is not about necessarily creating something from that, but it's a state of being that you're in. And for someone to be able to meet you, to engage with what you have to share, to appreciate what you have to share, they need to be able to reach into that point themselves. They need to be able to reach into those depths themselves. And so it can be lonely to be a creative who creates from such a deep place in themselves. It is such a brave thing, but not only a brave thing, it is such a generous thing for you to access that point in yourself and choose to share it with other people. But it can be lonely when you realize that people can't really mirror it, or they can't really grasp it, they can't really take it in. They remain passive, they remain shocked, they may remain in a state of freeze. They're frozen because they can't access that point in themselves, because they're too uncomfortable to do what you do. Something that for you is like breathing, being in a creative flow and constantly participating in life, participating in your creativity. That for them is like a foreign language, a foreign planet. And I'm not going to sit here and say that creating is just for yourself and it's a selfish thing, because I don't believe that. I don't agree with it when people say that you create for yourself, so it doesn't matter if people are able to meet you, or if people are able to see your creations or reflect on it, or be someone who can give you feedback, who can see what you're creating. I think that that is an important part of being a creative. It is realizing first and foremost that we are all creatives. We are all creating if we allow ourselves to do it. It is not just about whether or not you're artistic or you are necessarily creating a thing. It is that you are human and you have the ability to think, to reflect, to feel, to sense. Your whole system, physically, mentally, spiritually, is creating. It is creativity itself. Whether you access it or not, that's a choice. But you are creative whether you want it or not. And so it's natural that if we're all creative, we're all human, we also need that mirroring from other people. We also need to be seen, to be witnessed in that state. Because it's not about someone saying, "Oh my God, I love your art." It is not about validation, it's about recognition. It's about mirroring. It's about witnessing from a state of awareness instead of a state of paralysis. It is about participating, not only in our own creative process, not only in our own awareness, but also realizing that when we do tap into our own awareness, we create more connection with other people. We allow them to tap into their own awareness, into their own creativity. We make it so that we can connect deeper to each other. But if we shut down, if we don't allow ourselves to be moved by what we see, if we don't participate in it, if we stay frozen, stay paralyzed, don't interact when we feel something, then we're robbing ourselves of something that is so beautiful. Life is not about not feeling. Life is not about shutting down. It is about feeling, allowing yourself to be moved, allowing yourself to be touched, allowing yourself to be affected. Because that is where life is. That is where your creativity flows. That is where you feel the most alive, allowing yourself to be moved, participate, be aware.